Hello! It is Monday afternoon. I'm still wearing my pajamas because it's been a struggle bus Monday. I'm working from home. Typically I work from the office all days of the week except for Friday, but I didn't have much sleep last night, so I am here. Chances of me being alone in the office on Monday are pretty high, so I was just like, you know what, let's just stay home and, have a little bit of a slower start to my week, I guess. But so, we have 1 week left in the month, so the month of November will end on Sunday. That's also when this vlog will end. And I do still have some sort of like wishes for this month. I am currently reading 2 books, and so one of them I basically just started last night, which is Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, I believe. This is the book club book for the Climates Reading Club that is hosted by Bemuzed from the channel Bookworm Wonder. We have a live show for that on the 6th of December, so in principle I have time. But I'm also counting this one for the Herkia Challenge for reading from Indigenous Heritage Month, Jesus, which is the month of November. So ideally speaking, I should read it this month still. So yeah, I've started that one. And then I have 2 sort of like books that I would love to slot into this month, and those are Those Below by Daniel Polansky and The Ashfire King by Chelsea Abdullah. The issue with that is this is a sequel and I am still reading the first book. So I am some 57% I think into the first book, into my reading of the first book. I didn't get around to reading it last night. I have some 140 pages left in it, I think. I was originally thinking that I could finish it tonight, but since I didn't do any reading yesterday, I probably won't be able to finish it tonight. So it'll probably only be Tuesday when I can pick up the sequel. And so am I gonna be able to finish it before the end of the week? And especially, I'm gonna be able to finish both of these books within this week? I think very unlikely, but we're gonna have a go at it and see how far along we get. So Those Above by Daniel Polansky is a rebellion book in which we have a lot of sort of like class differences, and which leads to disgruntlement and revolution, perhaps. So we have Those Above, and above is kind of ruled by these sort of like godlike creatures who we don't really know too much about them, but they are basically kind of revered or mainly feared by the humans, and so they are controlling this sort of like city that is built like upwards basically, and the higher you live the lower your station. And the ones who are like in the Those Below section, so the ones in sort of like the lowest 5 tiers, let's say, they are slaving away in some sort of a facility that gives sort of like that powers the entire city. We're following multiple characters. We follow a human attendant to one of these others. We follow somebody who's sort of like in the political landscape of this city. We did also follow a former general who kind of gets retired, but I feel like we've just had like 2 chapters or so in the beginning, and we haven't really met up with him in a while. And then we follow a character who's living in like Those Below, who's living in the lower tiers, and who's basically just sort of like, a little bit of a nobody, we would say, to some extent. He's just like whiling away his time. He doesn't really have a job, or he does odd jobs here and there. He's mainly just like trying to find ways to get enough money for liquor, and so we are following this cast of characters. I am enjoying my reread. It was definitely slow at first, but I also remembered that with my experience with this book was also like that. It's very slow to get into, but then towards the second half I really got invested, and then it went easier. And so I'm now it seems like in a section where it's starting to get easier for me to get invested, easier for me to move along. And actually I see that the chapter that I'm about to start is from the general perspective, in which I said that we hadn't had a chapter in a while. But so yeah, that is going to be my main focus for today, at least when I get off work. is trying to get further along in that so that I can kind of put that behind me and get into the real goals for November still. There's no real reason for me to want to finish these 2 books. It is just that I would like to have the TBR a little bit lower before we go into December, just because the month of December I'm not really committing to any sort of reading plans. I'm not really saying like I'm going to be reading this and this and this and that, and so I don't know whether there is going to be a further reduction of the TBR within the month of December or not. But it is the month of Christmas, so there are going to be books that are going to be landing on my doorstep. I am going to go to London as well, so I'm gonna buy a book there. So I think it's actually already a lost cause. I'm definitely gonna end up with a TBR that is higher in 2026 than what I started 2025 with. But at this point in time, we're at an equal standpoint, right? I have 12 books on the TBR at the moment. I start 2025 with 12 books. But so yeah, if I can get that down to like 10 and give myself like at least the inkling that maybe it's gonna go down, and already have the sort of hint that my sister has bought me a book. I put 2 books I think on my wish list, so that's potentially 3 that are going to get added in the month of December. So, and then I'll still buy stuff. So yeah, we'll see. I do still kind of hope that maybe I'll get around to certain series within December, but as I said, I'm not committing to anything, so I will also be perfectly happy not to do that, because there are also other sort of like more impromptu plans that have crossed my mind for the month of December, which could potentially also mean that there's no time to pick up anything that is on my like physical TBR. So yeah, let's check in with you guys in a few days to see where we stand.
We've no place to go. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Ooh. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide tide gate. From now on, your troubles will be miles away. If the fates allow, hang a shining star above the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Oh, have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Shit. Well, we'll get there eventually. Alright, because I'm not putting in another book into that pile, but so... Hello, good morning guys. Good morning, it's evening, but okay. So I am rounding off this vlog because I did still finish a book yesterday evening. That book is the Braiding Sweetgrass by Kimmerer, which means that I've also still managed to complete the Heard Yet prompts for reading a book by an Indigenous author during Indigenous Heritage Month. I really enjoyed it, but I think I said more or less what I wanted to say about it. So I enjoy the themes of it, I enjoy the vibe of it, but a lot of the specifics of the book and of the things that the book talks about are going to disappear, and it's just going to be the overall message that stays with me. But it is an important overall message, and I do definitely think that it is a really lovely book to go through and kind of reflect on slowing down, living more in harmony with nature, trying to reflect again on, you know, lowering your consumption rate and thinking about whether you actually need something, you know, thinking about whether you are not using more resources than you actually need. You know, you can indulge from time to time, but maybe not have it be like super excessive. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And then I also did still get some 64% or so I think into Those Below by Daniel Polansky. So I'm really enjoying this one. I'm very happy that I got the audiobook for it, because I definitely consume this way easier on audiobook format. And then I don't mean like, of course it goes way quicker because the audiobook is like reading the book to me. I don't have to eyeball read it, but also just I feel like I, for some reason, have always a little bit struggled with processing the words on the page when it comes to this book, or like the first book at least. And I definitely feel like that is much easier when I listen to it, that I'm much more easily able to follow. And definitely what has fallen into place is indeed that we were looking at sort of like two societies. So we were looking at the Illyrians, and then we were looking at the Roost. And so we have two of our perspectives are part of the Illyrian society, and the rest are part of the Roost. And so we see some of the plotting and machinations going on the Illyrian side, and then some of the uprising as well as the establishment of the Roost. But yes, I am 75% in. I am going to be stopping for today because I listened to part of this over on my commute, but I'm about ready to start my new vlog, and I'm about ready to start game night-a-thon, because this is the 1st of December, meaning that my readathon, game night-a-thon has just started, and so I would highly encourage you guys to go and check it out, and I will have the announcement video linked in the description box. But yes, I will be reading for that for the rest of the evening, as I will be hosting opening night sprints for it very shortly over on my channel. But so yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys for the next one. Bye!